You think it's easy to tell when a man has strong feelings for you. Think again. The truth is, the men who feel the deepest often hide it the best. The ones who are quietly falling for you aren't always the ones saying the right words or making the grand gestures. Instead, their emotions slip through in the smallest, most unguarded moments, the kind that most people overlook. Today, I'm going to reveal 7 hidden signs that show when a man has strong feelings for you, even if he's doing his best to hide them. These are not the obvious signs you've heard before. They're not about compliments, flirtation, or attention. These are the signs that live between the lines, in the subtle ways he moves, the tone in his voice, and the quiet changes in how he behaves when you're around. And if you've been asking yourself whether he truly cares or if you're just imagining it, this is where the confusion ends. Because once you learn how to read these signals, you'll see the truth that's been there all along. What makes this different is that these signs don't depend on what he says to you, they depend on what he can't help but show you. His strongest feelings appear not when he's trying to impress you, but when he's trying to stay composed. It's in the moments he doesn't plan, in the behaviors he can't control. And once you know how to recognize them, you'll never again have to wonder where you stand with him. So stay with me until the very end, because the final sign, the 7th one, is the one that gives him away completely. It's the proof that what he feels goes far beyond attraction. It's something real, something lasting, and something he couldn't hide even if he wanted to. Every woman at some point finds herself wondering, does he actually have feelings for me? Or am I reading too much into it? That quiet question sits somewhere between excitement and fear. You don't want to assume too much, but you can't ignore what you feel. And here's the tricky part. Men rarely express their deepest emotions directly. Some are reserved by nature. Others have learned that showing too much interest makes them look weak. And then there are those who don't even realize their actions are already giving everything away. No matter how guarded he tries to be, his emotions will find a way to surface. Because the heart doesn't stay silent forever. It leaks through the cracks, in his tone, in his eyes, in the subtle choices he makes when you're near. When you start to notice those patterns, everything changes. You stop guessing, you stop doubting, and you begin to see what's really happening beneath the surface. You start to understand that real feelings don't always show up in grand declarations. They show up in the quiet, consistent moments that speak louder than words ever could. And that's what we're going to uncover right now. The real, undeniable signs that a man has deep feelings for you, no matter how hard he tries to hide them. When a man truly has strong feelings for you, he doesn't always move closer. Sometimes he does the exact opposite. He might suddenly become distant, quieter, or even seem to avoid you. And at first, that distance can feel confusing, maybe even hurtful. You start wondering if he's losing interest, or if you did something wrong. But in reality, the opposite is happening. What he feels for you is so intense that it shakes his usual sense of control. When deep emotions enter the picture, they bring vulnerability with them, and vulnerability can be terrifying. He's afraid of saying the wrong thing, of revealing too much, or of showing you just how much you already mean to him. That fear makes him retreat, not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much. It's his heart trying to protect itself. But here's what's beautiful about it. That distance never lasts. No matter how far he pulls away, something inside him always pulls him back. You'll notice he finds little excuses to reconnect. Maybe he sends a short message just to check in, or he casually joins a conversation you're having with someone else. He might even pretend it's coincidence, but it's not. Every small attempt to re-enter your world is his way of saying, I can't stay away. This push and pull, where he retreats one day but comes back the next, isn't confusion or games. It's a man caught between his emotions and his defenses. His heart wants closeness, but his fear wants safety. And that tug of war creates the pattern you feel. One moment he's warm and attentive, the next he's distant and hard to read. But beneath that inconsistency lies something steady. His feelings for you are growing stronger, and he's trying to navigate them without losing his balance. Watch closely when you're in the same space. You'll see it in how his energy shifts when you walk into the room. Even if he tries to act casual, there's a change. His posture tightens, his voice softens, his attention flickers your way more than once. It's subtle, but it's real. His emotions are rewriting his behavior in ways he doesn't fully understand. And if you ever catch him watching you when he thinks you're not looking, that's another sign his heart is already involved. Because that gaze, that quiet, searching look, doesn't come from curiosity, it comes from depth. It's his heart showing itself in the only way it knows how. He may turn away quickly when your eyes meet, but that brief second of connection says everything. He's not avoiding you because you don't matter. He's doing it because you matter more than he's ready to admit. His eyes reveal what his words won't. And the more you notice, the clearer it becomes. Distance doesn't mean disinterest. For a man who's falling for you, that space is just a pause, a moment to catch his breath before the pull of his feelings brings him right back to you. There's something about his eyes that will always tell the truth, even when his words don't. A man can control what he says, measure his tone, even mask his emotions behind confidence or calmness, but his eyes, they give him away every single time. If you've ever caught him looking at you from across the room, not just glancing, but really looking, holding that gaze a little longer than normal, that's no coincidence. It's not politeness. It's emotion trying to find its way out. And when he quickly looks away the second you notice, that's the giveaway. That tiny moment of hesitation exposes what he's trying to hide. There's a kind of softness in the way a man looks at someone he cares about. It's more focused, more anchored, as if the world blurs behind you. You'll see it when he listens to you, when he watches you speak, when he laughs at something you said. Even if it wasn't that funny, his gaze lingers not because he's trying to flirt, but because he's captivated, quietly studying every expression, every detail that makes you you. And the most telling part? He probably doesn't even realize he's doing it. His attention naturally finds you. In a room full of people, his eyes return to you again and again, not out of habit, but because he feels drawn, almost magnetically. Watch how his eyes change in conversation. They might soften when you share something vulnerable, light up when you talk about something you love, or grow more focused when you're speaking and he's truly listening. That kind of attention doesn't happen casually. It happens when someone has already invested emotionally, even if he hasn't admitted it yet. Men aren't always verbal about their feelings, but their eyes will always betray them. They can't fake the warmth, the intensity, or that quiet trace of longing. Those lingering looks, the ones that last just a second too long, are his heart speaking the language his mouth can't. And here's what most people miss. When a man's feelings run deep, his eyes don't just see you, they remember you. Long after you've walked away, that image of you lingers in his mind. That's why he stumbles over his words the next time you meet, or why he suddenly acts different when you're near, because every glance you've shared has already left an imprint. So if you catch that look, that unguarded moment when his eyes soften or linger, don't brush it off as nothing. That's not just interest, that's connection. It's the raw truth trying to surface through silence. Another sign that reveals a man's true feelings, one that most people overlook, is how he remembers the small things you say. It might not seem like much at first, but it's one of the strongest indicators that you've made a real impact on him. Men by nature don't usually hold on to every tiny detail of casual conversations. But when he has strong feelings for you, something changes. His attention sharpens, and suddenly the smallest things about you start to matter. He remembers your favorite drink, the song you mentioned once and never brought up again, the story you told about your childhood, or that you had an important meeting you were nervous about. Then out of nowhere, he brings it up again, Maybe he texts to ask how that meeting went, or surprises you with your favorite coffee without you ever asking. That isn't coincidence. That's care. His memory is showing you what his heart is already feeling. You're not just another voice in his day. Your words stay with him long after you've stopped talking. He holds on to those details because they mean something to him. They connect him to you. It's like he's quietly collecting pieces of your world, storing them away, because each one feels precious. And here's the thing, that kind of attentiveness isn't accidental. It's emotional. It's what happens when a man's heart starts to attach itself to someone he genuinely values. You'll notice this in the way he brings things up later that you barely remember saying. You'll wonder, how does he even remember that? The answer is simple, because it came from you. When a man truly cares, he doesn't just hear you, he listens. He doesn't just remember facts, he remembers feelings. He might mention that you love rainy days, or that you once said how much you miss your grandmother's cooking, or he'll notice when your mood shifts, things no one else would pick up on. It's his quiet way of saying, I see you, I notice you, you matter to me. And that's one of the most beautiful signs of all, because it's not showy or loud, it's steady, it's genuine. A man who remembers the little things is a man whose heart is already involved, even if his words haven't caught up yet. You can also see it in the way his body reacts when you're near. His posture changes, his energy shifts, and even without realizing it, he starts aligning himself with you. When a man has strong feelings for you, his body begins to express what his words can't. It's instinctive, not planned. In group settings, you might notice that he always ends up sitting or standing close to you, even when there are plenty of other places he could be. He leans in when you talk, mirrors your movements, or subtly faces his body in your direction. These small gestures might seem meaningless, but they're not. They're signs of connection. His subconscious drawing him closer to you because that's where he feels most at ease. And then there are the nervous habits. For many men, being around someone they deeply care about throws them off balance. The man who's usually calm and collected might start fidgeting with his shirt, running a hand through his hair too often, or stumbling over his words when you're talking to him. He laughs more than usual, sometimes at things that aren't even that funny. That's not awkwardness. It's emotion spilling into his body. What's happening inside him is simple but powerful. He wants to impress you, to show his best self, but the weight of how much he feels makes him lose his composure. His heart is racing faster than his mind can keep up with. That nervous energy, the little slips, the awkward laughter, the hesitations, those are some of the most honest signs of all. Because if you didn't matter to him, he wouldn't be nervous. When a man feels nothing, he's perfectly at ease. But when he feels something deep, every cell in his body responds to your presence. His breath changes, his movements become more alert, and his focus narrows in on you like the rest of the room fades away. It's not about what he says. It's about what his body reveals. You'll feel it in the air when he's near, that unspoken tension between control and emotion. And the truth is, he can't fake that. You can't pretend your heart is racing when it's not. So the next time you catch him fidgeting, laughing too much, or glancing at you between sentences, don't mistake it for awkwardness. That's not a man who doesn't know what to say. That's a man whose feelings are speaking louder than his words ever could. Another way his feelings quietly reveal themselves is through effort. The kind of consistent, thoughtful effort that doesn't ask for recognition. When a man truly cares, he finds reasons to be there, even when he's busy. He shows up in small, steady ways that speak volumes. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic confessions. It's about those little moments when he checks in to see how you're doing, sends a message just to make sure you got home safe, or remembers something you mentioned and follows up on it. Maybe he offers to help with something simple, carrying something heavy, fixing something at your place, or just making time for you in the middle of his packed schedule. To most people, these actions might seem casual, but for him they're anything but. Behind every small act of effort is a choice, a decision to prioritize you, even when he doesn't say it out loud. And that's what makes it powerful. Men don't invest time and energy into someone unless they feel something real. Effort is emotional currency, and he's spending it on you. You'll notice it in the patterns. He doesn't disappear when life gets hectic. He makes space for you, even when it would be easier not to. He keeps finding reasons to stay connected, to text, to see you, to check on you, because you've become part of the rhythm of his life. And he might downplay it, act like it's nothing, but it's everything. Because no one keeps showing up for someone they don't care about. And then effort often grows into something even deeper. Protectiveness. It's not the loud or possessive kind. It's quiet, instinctive, and incredibly revealing. You'll notice it in small moments. When he walks you to your car without being asked. When he offers his jacket if the air gets cold. Or when he subtly steps closer if he senses you feel uncomfortable. He might not even realize he's doing it, but it's his way of saying, I've got you. That kind of care isn't about control. It's about concern. It's about wanting you to feel safe, wanting to make things easier for you, wanting to be the one you can rely on without needing to ask. And that's not something a man does for everyone. He saves that side of himself for someone who's touched something deep inside him. His protectiveness is his heart showing up in physical form. A quiet, steady presence that says more than words ever could. So if you see him going out of his way for you, paying attention, checking in, showing up, don't underestimate it. That's not just kindness. That's emotion turned into action. That's a man whose feelings have already taken root, no matter how calm or casual he tries to seem. Sometimes his protectiveness shows itself in another form. Jealousy. Not the unhealthy kind, but the subtle, almost involuntary kind that slips through before he can control it. You might notice it when another man talks to you and he suddenly goes quiet, or his expression changes just slightly. Maybe he steps closer, joins the conversation, or finds a way to redirect your attention back toward him. It's not about ownership, it's about emotion. Deep down, he feels something that he hasn't yet put into words, the fear of losing your attention, even for a moment. That quiet shift in energy, the way he subtly positions himself near you, or the way his tone changes when another man's name comes up. Those aren't random reactions. They're signs of a man who's emotionally invested but still trying to act unaffected. He may play it cool, but inside, his heart's already given him away. And that's what makes this stage of hidden feelings so telling. It's not the grand declarations that show the truth. It's the tiny, unguarded moments when his instincts take over. You can feel it in how his mood changes around you. You sense it in his need to make sure you're okay, in the way he leans closer when you speak, in how he's quietly attuned to you even in a crowded room. Then there's the playfulness. When a man begins to feel safe with you, when he's past the stage of trying to impress you and begins to feel connected, that's when his true personality starts to shine. He teases you softly, jokes with you, or creates little moments of humor just to make you laugh. It's not the kind of teasing that stings. It's warm, light, and full of affection. It's his way of saying, I enjoy you, I feel comfortable with you. That playfulness builds a bridge between caution and closeness. It's how he lets his guard down without fully admitting how deep his emotions go. Every time he jokes with you, makes you smile, or finds a way to share a laugh, he's revealing that he feels safe enough to be himself. And that's rare for men who are still hiding what they feel. Watch how he uses humor as a way to connect. Maybe by exaggerating something you said earlier, creating an inside joke, or gently mimicking something you do. Those shared laughs become small, private moments that only exist between the two of you. They're his way of deepening the bond without needing to say, I care about you. Because playfulness isn't just fun, it's intimacy in disguise. It's his way of showing trust, comfort, and a genuine desire to make you happy. And when a man starts to combine protectiveness with playfulness, that's when you know his feelings are no longer just interest. They've become attachment. All these little moments, his protective instincts, his nervous slips, his quiet acts of care, his teasing, are pieces of a larger picture. A picture that, when you step back and look closely, spells one simple truth. This man has strong feelings for you, and no matter how hard he tries, he can't hide them. When you start putting all of these pieces together, the picture becomes undeniable. His protectiveness, his effort, the way he remembers the smallest things, the nervous laughter, the soft teasing, they all weave together into a story that his words haven't told you yet. A story that says you matter to him. Because when a man truly has deep feelings, it's never just one thing, it's a collection of moments, a steady pattern that reveals how he feels. Even when he's trying to hide it, his actions begin to speak in ways his mouth can't. He may never say it outright, but you can feel it in the air when he's around. The way he looks at you, the way his energy shifts, the way time seems to stretch just a little longer between you. It all tells you everything you need to know. Even when he's silent, his heart is talking. It shows up in how he checks on you without reason, in the calmness that comes over him when you're near, and in the quiet way he seems to always find his way back to you, no matter how many times he pulls away. None of it is random, none of it is coincidence. And here's the most beautiful truth. Love doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives quietly, through small gestures, through the way he remembers how you take your coffee, through how his eyes soften when you laugh, through the way he makes sure you're safe without saying a word. Those moments are where real emotion lives. You'll feel it too. You'll sense it in the warmth of his presence, in the safety you feel around him, in the way he listens to you as if your words actually matter. You'll notice how his energy feels different, how his laughter sounds freer, how his voice softens when he says your name. That's not just chemistry, that's connection. So if you've been asking yourself, does he really have feelings for me? Or am I imagining it? Trust what you see. But even more than that, trust what you feel. Because when these signs keep showing up, again and again, they're not accidents. They're proof. You're not overthinking it. You're not chasing shadows. You're seeing the real, unspoken signs of love unfolding right in front of you. The truth is, when a man has strong feelings for you, he doesn't just like you. He feels you. Deeply, silently, unmistakably. His eyes, his effort, his protectiveness, his nervousness, they all tell the same story. One he might not be ready to say out loud yet, but one his heart has already confessed 100 times in 100 quiet ways. And once you recognize it, you'll never confuse politeness for passion again. You'll see the difference between a man who's simply kind and a man who's falling for you, piece by piece, without